Let's call the meeting to order. This meeting is being recorded. I would ask if there's anyone else recording this meeting. Seeing none, if you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. We do have some special recognitions this evening. Do we want to
Perhaps
put
if
that on
we,
hold
just for a
for a
moment.
moment? Okay.
Thank you.
Do we have any citizens' comments? Seeing none. How about the student representatives report? Jacob?
Hello, everyone. So, as of right now, we just started our new trimester. Began on Monday. Classes are operating smoothly. Winter sports are also in full swing right now. And we are also in the giving season, so we have a lot of philanthropy going on throughout all of the clubs and activities. Winter sports teams are, doing their fair share. NHS is doing their once annual yearly soldier care package drive, as well as their adopted family through AYFS. And everything's been going very, very well so far.
Excellent. Any questions or comments for Jacob? Seeing none, if you could just thank everyone for their generosity, Jacob, your classmates, and everyone who's raising money, and tell them from the school committee that we wish them a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year, and whatever it is that they may be celebrating.
Thank you, I will do that.
And same to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I would now seek approval of the minutes of November 15 and November 16.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. There's a vote. We now move on to the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The first item, sharing with you, the Department of Ed recently released suspension data as well as discipline data. Included in your packet was information, a press release from them that came out from the Commissioner's office. And then I also included the specific information from the Auburn Public Schools. And as you can see, and as I noted in the report, our intention is always to be very purposeful in providing discipline as needed. The goal is always to educate and try and correct behaviors. Balancing that, we obviously want students to be in school, but balancing that with making sure that behavior is appropriate in the schools as well. So I share it with you for information. I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have them, but I appreciate the work of our administrators and all of our teachers in providing good direction for our students.
Any questions or comments?
I just have a question. When I was looking through this today, I noticed that we have the high school, and then we have high schools in our district. And those scores are, in some regards, different than our school, but we only have one high school. So where are they getting high schools in our district? I'm looking at this.
That's actually the other.
Oh, this isn't what we're talking about?
Right.
No,
Oh, I'm sorry.
that's okay.
It was right there.
That's all right. We will
Okay.
get to that.
Question to be saved for later.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I understand the confusion on that piece. I was wondering the same thing.
Okay, oh, all right. I was attracted to the pretty blue, I guess.
My question was, were you impressed with the state numbers and with the Auburn numbers? Did we really see much of a change as far as the Auburn numbers, discipline, the in-house?
Our numbers have really not changed significantly. We've had in-school suspension now for a number of years. We try to use that when it's appropriate versus out-of-school suspension. So, I think that, and as would be expected, more of them, of these here occur from the high school. This is a district glance at it. More of them are at the high school, and then I would say progressively down, and very, very few at our elementary schools and certainly at primary. But I think that the numbers speak to administrators' judicious use of it, and I think it also speaks to other programs we have in place, like the PBIS, the Positive Behavioral Supports, that, when you can help correct a behavior positively, it's a much quicker and more powerful impact. So I was, I mean, they really did not vary much from previous years, so I thought they looked representative and well.
Right. I really never thought that we were in a situation where we needed to make any drastic changes, where some inner city schools may need to make those adjustments.
Sure, yeah.
And the letter from Mitchell Chester, I wasn't really impressed with, and the numbers and the breakdown, and really it comes down to parenting, and we're lucky to have a community of caring parents and actually caring residents across the board.
I agree.
And that goes to show financially when they support us in our endeavors, as well as looking after our children, whether it's in youth sports or other community events. But yeah, I didn't really see where this tied too much into what the state does, other than them mandating us like they like to do.
Report it, yeah.
All right, did we want to?
Could I have a question on this one?
Oh, sure.
I did have a
I'm
question.
sorry.
I'm looking through the categories, and I assume the categories probably come from the state.
They
And
do.
it says ELL, economically disadvantaged, students with disabilities, and then it lists high needs. Is that a composite of some of the others, or is that a whole different group?
It's not a whole different group. It actually includes those other groups that are listed there.
Oh, okay.
And the economically disadvantaged is a more recent term. We used to refer to it more as the free and reduced lunch students. It's
Yeah.
a new title that they've given with some new characteristics.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And again, those statistics are of no shock. It's not as if we're reinventing the wheel here, but they're sending the stats at us like it's something that we couldn't have figured out without any numbers.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Just seeing the
Yeah.
faces of what some of our students have to go through.
Yeah.
And they get up and go to school every day and sort of make it happen. And Jacob's, I'm sure that you run into a few of them and you wonder, how do these kids get through it?
Mhm.
So really, it's not something where we need statistics. Luckily, we know our children.
Absolutely. Good point.
All right, and we are honored this evening to be able to have some special recognitions. So
We do.
we'll go back to that.
Sure, thank you very much. We have in attendance with us tonight some members of the Auburn Safety Advisory Team. With us, we have Mr. Matt Carson, Assistant Principal at the Middle School, Officer Brian Kennedy, our School Resource Officer, and Mr. Joe Fahey, our Director of Facilities. Missing from this group is Chief Coleman, our Fire Chief, Captain Anderson from the Auburn Fire Department, and Building Inspector Caleb Moody. So what I'd like to do is turn it over to these gentlemen. Want to thank them publicly for the time that they give, both in sharing their expertise and guidance with us. Auburn should consider itself lucky to have this team in place that regularly, in an ongoing basis for years now, looks at the safety of our buildings and makes recommendations, and it really is a collaborative effort. So they're going to give you a few highlights of some recent events and things that they've gone over and share a brief video with you. So the gentlemen want to go to the podium.
Excellent.
How's everybody doing? There's a couple of things that we wanted to introduce tonight that we are very proud of. And to just kind of piggyback what Dr. Brunel was saying is we are very lucky in Auburn that we have this safety committee that has worked well together over the last probably close to 10 years now, and has been able to embark on projects such as this because we are so far ahead of some other communities in the area. And I know this just from going to trainings and listening to other people talk, and we are like very so far ahead of other people. So it gives us the time to actually work on some projects such as these videos that we have to present to you tonight. The first one I believe that we're going to be seeing is the parent program, which we put on last November and January. It wasn't heavily attended, so we turned it into a video, so we'll send it out to everybody, so hopefully they'll watch it. Another one that we were able to produce with the help of Mr. Jason Bergman and the TV production class now at the high school was an Alice training video, which we were able to film at the end of the last school year, tweak it over the summer, and we actually just rolled it out to all of the faculty just yesterday afternoon at all their faculty meetings, so they were able to see it. And we will then roll it out to students grades 6 through 12. And I believe we'll be sending it out to all the parents so that they will be able to, be able to watch it, and then they can make the determination if they want to show their younger children. So we'll watch this video and go from there. Hit play.
My name is Mary Ellen Pinnell, Superintendent of the Auburn Public Schools. The Auburn Public Schools takes very seriously its responsibility to provide safe environments in which our students and staff can work, learn, grow, and thrive. This video is intended to highlight the ways in which we pay ongoing attention to this important task. The Auburn Public Schools is fortunate to have a safety advisory team in place that is comprised of school, fire, police representatives, as well as our local building inspector. This team of professionals meets regularly to review the processes and protocols in place and to make recommendations that can further enhance the safety of our schools for our students and staff. It is my pleasure to now introduce to you the members of the Safety Advisory Team. First, we have Officer Brian Kennedy, our School Resource Officer from the Auburn Police Department.
Hi, my name is Brian Kennedy. I'm the Auburn Police Department School Resource Officer for the town of Auburn. And school safety is our #1 priority in the school district.
Mr. Matt Carlson is Assistant Principal of Auburn Middle School.
My name is Matt Carlson. I'm the Assistant Principal of Auburn Middle School. It is extremely important that we are all aware of the safety practices that we use in our schools and in our town.
Mr. Fahey is our Director of Facilities for the Auburn Public Schools.
Hi, my name is Joe Fahey, Director of Facilities for the Auburn Public School Systems. My job is to make sure that buildings and grounds are safe for all of our students.
Chief Stephen Coleman is the fire representative as our fire chief in Auburn.
Hello, I'm Stephen Coleman. I'm the fire chief in the town of Auburn. Between fire codes and building codes, we've come a long way in protecting schools from fire. There hasn't been a fire fatality in a school in well over 50 years, and a lot of hard work has gone into that. Unfortunately today, new threats face our school system that we have to be prepared for, and that's exactly what this committee comes prepared to do every day, facing and working on the new threats that face us.
And our local building inspector, Mr. Caleb Moody, also is part of that team.
Hi, my name is Caleb Moody. I'm the building commissioner for the town of Auburn. I work cohesively with the fire department and facilities department to ensure that our schools are safe for our children.
I thank them for their ongoing efforts because they too take our students' safety very seriously. Thank you.
States select a basic measure to safeguard children in child care in schools. Most school communities are at a loss for where to start. Start here and start together. All schools developed safety plans after this mandate, but they were all different. The Auburn Safety Advisory Committee started 8 years ago over concerns of snow removal at Auburn High School. The committee is comprised of 2 members of the school department, 2 members of the fire department, 2 members of the police department, and the town building inspector. Through the work of the committee, a town-wide multi-hazard plan was implemented, and from there, the individual school plans were formed and put into place. Each year, the team assesses the facilities and makes recommendations to improve safety. The safety team also regularly meets and attends next-generation training to stay ahead of the curve on school safety. Each year, a fire chief, police chief, and superintendent of schools meet to review and sign off on all multi-hazard plans. We have made our schools safer from fire emergencies through better education and preparation. In the same way, we can improve all areas of school safety. 68 million children are separated from their parents each workday. We must ensure that they are reunited at the end of the day. Now we will introduce you to the ALICE program, which will be implemented in the Auburn Public School District. The goal of ALICE is to empower all staff in the school to respond in any emergency situation. This may include an active shooter in the school. The town of Auburn and Auburn Public Schools have made a commitment to ALICE full day of training for all staff. ALICE is one part of an overall safety and security plan. The Auburn Safety Committee has already implemented the following measures. Even with all the awareness and safety measures put into place, school-place violence is at an all-time high, which makes ALICE more important. We need to be prepared to respond. 25 years of mass shooting events have yielded a national average for the arrival response time of law enforcement to an active shooter scene. How long will it take the police to arrive? Roughly 5 to 6 minutes. We have 3 natural responses. Flight, which is evacuate. Freeze, which is lockdown, secure in place. Fight, which is counter strategies. Which is the preferred? ALICE, common sense, just not common knowledge. Alert, lockdown, inform, counter, and evacuate. ALICE is not a linear, sequential response. ALICE is based on the premise that information, authorization, and proactive training are the keys to surviving an active shooter. ALICE is not a complete procedure. It is a set of general recommendation that has to fit each building in grade level. There is no way to anticipate every possibility. ALICE moves from what if to when then. Alert. Information is the key to good decisions. Information should flow in all directions. Provide as much initial information as possible to as many people as possible. Use any available means, text, PA, digital, signage, web, Twitter, Facebook, bells. Lockdown. Excellent starting point. Locked doors provide a time barrier. Locks can and have been defeated. Windows and blinds. Barricade. The idea is to create the stronghold that nobody can breach. Be a harder target to find. Lockdown is a semi-secure starting point from which to make survival decisions. If you decide not to evacuate, then secure the room. Lock the door. Tie down the door if possible using belts, purse straps, shoelaces, or anything you can find. Barricade the door with anything available, desks, chairs, or anything else that's in the room. Secure the door and move out of the doorway. Look for an alternate escape route, windows, other doors. Call 911, local number preferred. Silence or place cell phones on vibrate. Do not open the door for anyone. The police will enter the room when the situation is over. Inform. Provide as much real-time information as possible by all means possible. Use the information to make single or collective decisions as to the best option for survival. Information can create options for us. Example, armed intruder in main gym, shots fired. All staff members are empowered to pass on real-time information. Provide who, what, where, when, and how information is possible. Use plain language. staff members to make informed, common sense decisions. Counter is when you have no other options. This is the use of simple, proactive techniques if you are confronted by the active shooter. Anything can be used as a distraction. Create as much noise and distraction as possible. Throw things to disrupt and create a distraction. Staff could use the swarm technique as well. Evacuate. This is our best option if there is a way to get out safely. If the intruder is inside, you get outside. Establish reunification or rally points. We must change our mindset from believing that our only option is to lock down. The staff will determine what the best option is to keep the students and them as safe as possible at this critical moment, empowering everyone to make decisions that can save lives. In the moment of decision, the best thing that you can do is the right thing. The next best thing is the wrong thing. The worst thing you can do is nothing.
When we form partnerships and collaborate in the best interest of students, everyone benefits, with our safety advisory team being clear evidence of that fact. As a district, we commit to continuing to do all that we can to ensure the safety of our students. I'd like to sincerely thank the members of the Safety Advisory Team for their ongoing efforts, and thank each of you for your continued interest in and support of the Auburn Public Schools. Thank you.
Very nice. That was the only video
It was, yes.
for this evening.
It is. So
Yes.
actually, just to update you, we are going to be sending out, probably on Monday, there are a couple of tweaks that's been made to this video, to all of the families in Auburn. We'll get this to review. There'll be an explanation of the different steps that we have taken and continue to take in terms of safety. And then for grades 6 through 12, the Alice video will go out to all of those families prior to it being shown to students. So I thank the team for their ongoing work, and also for meeting with all of the staff yesterday. We met as a leadership team, and they said how wonderfully it was received by everybody.
Excellent. Any comments, questions, please, gentlemen? Yeah.
First of all, I really thought the voice that did the speaking was great because it was very calm and very clear. And I just have one slight teacher concern. Caleb Moody is spelled with a C in our paperwork and a K on the screen. So,
So through the chair, I made a couple of notes, and that was the latest one that I just made, so that will be corrected. So thank you.
so which way is it?
It's C.
The vote.
Yeah.
Very nice, especially on payday.
It is a C.
Okay, well, that's just the teacher in me. I can't help it.
Any other comments or corrections?
Yeah, through the chair, you guys did a great job. It's an awful thing to have to even think about and research and discuss, but thank you for taking the time out of your own free time to do this.
Thank you.
Wayne?
I would like to say thank you and congratulations on your film and your work that you guys have been doing over the years and keep continuing to do for our students and the welfare of the teachers and the principals and the whole school system. You're doing a great job. I'd like to thank you and keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming out tonight. Much appreciated. Please share that with your fellow members that, again, we appreciate you keeping our children safe. And as Ms. Harrington said, going out of your way and kind of doing it on your own time is really commendable. And we thank you. And, you know, we're used to seeing you guys around, but this is some serious business right here that you're taking care of. And it really makes us feel assured that our kids are safe, and we can see how much you care about them. So I really do, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate this. Great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, guys. I guess that's a wrap. Thank you. Have a nice night.
Do we know whose voice it was?
I
Was
do,
it
it's
Matt?
actually Mr. Bergman,
Oh,
the
Oh,
team
really?
production teacher. Yeah, he really, and others have commented through the chair on his voice, and it really does have a calming way,
Yeah.
so we,
Yeah.
perfect for
yeah.
It really was.
Part.
Great,
That was pretty good.
yeah.
Definitely interested in learning more about that and
Mm.
hopefully passing it on to my own district. Which
Absolutely.
the last time it was presented, I guess they weren't too warm to it, but
Oh.
I think I'd like to start another movement.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
excellent. So we'll move back to the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The next item is just such a heartwarming item in here that AA bus drivers, it actually came to us that one individual bus driver was concerned about a child on their bus run and wanted to clear up a past due lunch account for the child, believing it would help the family, especially during the holiday season. And what started off as an individual act, others got talking at the bus garage, and many of them said, well, we want to help, and we want to help. So they ultimately collected $315, we just learned today. It's clearing up the balances of well over 10 of our students. So notification will be going to those families, those lucky families, to be notified, and I really just wanted to thank AA bus company for their generous donation. I thought it was really great of them to do.
Definitely. Wayne?
Now, is that the bus company or the employees?
The employees,
Okay.
the employees, yes, yep.
Thank you.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Really
It sure is.
going way beyond the scope of their duties
Yeah.
to do that. That's,
Again, it's comforting to know that not only do our safety officials care about our students, but our bus drivers do too. That's
Yeah.
just, it's a great feeling.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you. I will pass along your comments too to them. I was so touched by that.
yes.
I would entertain a motion to accept that donation.
I'll make that motion to accept the donation.
Do I have a second?
A second.
Any further comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. This vote.
Thank you. The next item, the Packagug School actually has been adopted through BJ's Adopt a School program, which means they are in receipt of $500 from them, as well as Kellogg's Scholastic books. So Mrs. Stanek has written a letter of thanks, but I would ask you to please accept that donation with gratitude as well.
I would entertain that motion.
I'll make the motion to accept with gratitude the donation from BJ's Wholesale Club.
Do I have a second? Any discussion? Yeah,
It's
thank you.
wonderful to see our businesses step up like that.
Agreed.
It really is.
I agree.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. This vote.
The next item, and this has been going on now for many, many years, the Auburn Webster Lodge of Elks has provided a dictionary to every third grader in Auburn as well as surrounding communities. They've been doing this, as it notes, for many years, and we are extremely grateful for their ongoing generosity. So I would ask that you likewise accept that with a letter of thanks being in your packets.
I would entertain that motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the dictionaries donated by the Auburn Webster Lodge of Elks.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Thank you.
Yeah, another
Yeah.
thank you. The Elks continue to do great things. I continue to be a member and probably not pulling my own weight, but I am impressed with what they do nationwide as far as being charitable. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. This vote.
Wonderful.
And yet another donation of time and expertise. Mr. Joe Spano, he's a parent of kindergarten students actually up at Packagug. He has generously offered his time and expertise to lead the effort to digitize the Bryn Mawr and Packagug library collections. So that way with a scanner, they'll be able to actually check those out. Mrs. Harrington is one of the parent volunteers. There's going to be a team of people who are going to work to get this done. Mr. Spano has worked directly with Mr. Bouvier as well as Mr. Marchand, two members of our IT department. They actually created a virtual server. We've purchased the barcode scanners, so as soon as Mr. Spano is ready, I know Mrs. Harrington and her team are going to get to work on this. So, and with the virtual server, the two schools would actually be able to even share collections if they wanted to, so they'll know what's out at any time. So it will certainly bring us into the 21st century rather than writing on cards. So I
That's
thank them
great.
all.
Right now, we're using, a stone slab and like a chisel and signing books out that way. So this will be a major upgrade.
Just be careful not to offend anyone. Thank you. Thank you for your efforts, and again, as I've said in the past, thank everyone who's helping out as well. We don't always have the opportunity to bump into them and thank them ourselves, but you're there, so if you would do that for us.
Yes, I give them lots of special treats and snacks to keep them going. No, they're happy to be helping, so it's wonderful.
Yeah, that is wonderful.
Of moms, yeah.
Okay, moving on.
So, in response, and we heard, the presentation tonight, we've heard some, you've accepted some different donations of time and items, but what we did, and we actually shared this with you last year, and this is certainly not an exhaustive list, but what it shares, what I hope it highlights, is the appreciation that we truly do have in the schools for the support that we get from the community. And we believe that we have an obligation to give back to the community. Earlier today, I had the true enjoyment, Mr. Page was there as well, to be up at the senior center, and the newly formed Swanson Road Intermediate School honor choir went up and performed. They had a celebration in recognition of Pearl Harbor Day, and the students sang a variety of songs. They had learned a couple of Frank Sinatra songs, which all of the songs were very well received by them, and had made cards for the veterans who were in attendance. Students went around and delivered those and shook hands, as did Dr. Lopez. It was a great event, but that is just one example, and here what you see on these pages are the many ways that every school takes seriously our responsibility to give back. So just wanted to recognize what we do. It's a great relationship, a true give and take with the community and the schools.
Wayne?
I would just like to say, yes, I was there today too, and it was outstanding. I mean, the program was brought in a short time. The veterans were exceptional. They were very happy with what happened. You could even see it in the children's faces how they really liked being there and making out the cards and stuff like that. I mean, the veterans were very happy, and as we know, a lot of our veterans get short-handed these days, but I mean, if you could just see the faces on some of these older veterans, it was unbelievable. It was like you just gave them the world for a day.
Oh,
I'm
good.
serious, it was that good.
It was.
And the kids, Mrs. Lopez did a great job on the whole program. And I really, from the bottom of my heart, like to say thank you for such a good new program coming in to support our veterans and Pearl Harbor Day.
And through the chair, I do want to just congratulate Dr. Lopez, did a great job. Miss Caruso, who was our new music teacher at Swanson Road, and she led the children. It's only been formed, this group, for a short time, but they learned a lot of songs and did a great job. They were happy to do it. It was nice. It was nice.
Any other comments?
And, yeah, go ahead.
Through the chair, for what it's worth, Miss Caruso was, I believe, the top write-in for the Swiss month election. So she's obviously making a big impression on the kids. So it shows. I really, seriously, I did have one question though, because it came up from the parents. Was this televised? Because some parents were asking if they could watch it on ACTV.
So through the chair, Mr. Hugo was there filming, and actually Channel 3, I believe,
Channel
was in
3
the
was
corner,
there, and
doing some filming as well. Mr. Anderson from Auburn Mass Daily was there, so I expect we will see it. A lot of times with the filming that takes place, it takes a day or so before it's
Right.
posted, but they were definitely there filming. Yeah.
Great, thank
It
you.
is good.
I'm sure the parents would love
Absolutely,
to see
yeah.
when it gets to the
Yep.
I know he did film it, so even if he doesn't put it up, me or the superintendent can request to have it put up.
Oh, okay, that'll be
Because
great.
it needs to be shown how the day went and how good it was.
Great.
It's always nice to hear good things, not always bad things.
Yep, that's great. I look forward to seeing it. It's great that we've got them out there at such a
Yeah.
young age,
Yeah.
getting involved in the community.
That's great.
And when we meet students like Jacob, we get to see the ending result.
That's
So
right.
really, we have a lot of great, respectful students here in Auburn.
We do.
And you see that the more you get around town and you go to some of the schools or you're out at the ball fields, just got a great bunch of kids. And it starts
We
with
do.
as I said earlier, the community giving to them and us giving back to the community, it's a great relationship.
Yeah, I agree.
Thank you very much.
And if I could just add, it's nice to see, because a year or so ago, those children wouldn't be together. They would have been in separate schools, and now they're all brought together, and their talents can, that's really great, you know, and
Absolutely.
that we can do that with them now.
We now move on to unfinished business.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So a quick update, the Package Shop Accelerated Repair update. Mr. Fahey and I met with the team from Hill International and KGV. I always get these letters wrong. CGKB Architects, my apologies, on November 23rd, and they're actually coming back again on Friday. We are on target to submit the package to MSBA by the 21st of December, which means it will go before their board in February, at which time it gets full approval. We did just yesterday get notification from MSB that they've set our reimbursement rate, which is at 54.16%, the same rate that we had for the other three projects.
Great.
So that is, 54.16% of whatever this value is, and we'll have a better sense come December 21st. That the state will be paying and not the taxpayers of Auburn. So it's really wonderful. And I think Mr. Fahey, he works very closely with them. They send questions on different materials and things, and I leave it to his able mind to make those decisions. But we're in good shape with great firms we're working with. We will go actually Monday night to share with the Board of Selectmen. That's a requirement, an update. We don't need them to sign off on anything just yet, but we had promised them we'd keep them updated, so we'll do that Monday evening.
Great. Moving on.
With regard to the collaborative meeting with the legislators, Mrs. Worsbicky and I did attend that meeting. It was held in an evening recently down at Charlton Middle School. And we promised that we would have additional meetings. We're trying to schedule one for some time in December, although it seems to be slipping away rather quickly. We're going to be creating a finance task force. So as soon as we have more information on that, we'll let you know. But I do want to thank both Senator Moore and Representative Frost who were in attendance that night. There were other legislators as well. There was some hearty discussion around top priority issues of where we'd really like to see additional funding come in. And one of the challenges that we noted was, when you don't get your information as early as we need to, and it changes, obviously. Now, when it changes for the better, those are nice surprises to have. But so there was a great conversation that took place. So I expect that there will be more of those, and we will keep you apprised.
Any comments? Well, thanks to all who made that meeting, and a special thanks to our legislators. The two of them seem to make it to everything.
They do.
And they're always there, and they're there at a moment's notice.
I agree. We did put on the agenda the FY18 budget. I don't at this time, or we don't, I should say, have any recommendations for any changes to it. By the January 4th meeting, you will need to take a vote to send forward a draft budget. If any things come up, we will certainly bring it to you, but right now our recommendation is we stay where we are.
Okay.
The tour of the schools that we've done annually for the past several years, we've scheduled them for December 21st. It's a Wednesday. We've got a schedule here that we'll be visiting each of the schools and walking around, and we will certainly be showing the textbooks, Mrs. Holloway, that you had asked to see. But we're excited, and the staff is excited to have us come too, so look forward to it.
Okay. Any comments?
Can't
Okay.
wait.
Yeah.
We now move on to new business.
Recently, Dr. Lozay and I met with the town manager, Jacobson, CFO Kazanovich, Chief Slukas and Chief Coleman, as well as Darlene Coyle from the Board of Health. And we had received, actually it came through Senator Moore's office, shared with us an opportunity from the Attorney General's office to apply for a grant titled the Youth Opioid Prevention Grant. So we had preliminary discussions to talk about what would be the areas of focus. And the grant actually sets as priority areas elementary and middle schools, recognizing that when students engage in risky behaviors at those ages, the likelihood compounds as they get older in terms of really becoming addicted to things. So the grant opportunity, it can be between $2,500 and $20,000. We've not yet finalized the grant. It's due a week from Friday. We will have it submitted. Chief Slukas and Chief Coleman are going to sign on in favor. Mrs. Jacobson is going to ask the Board of Selectmen for a letter of support, as well as from the Board of Health, Mrs. Coyle. Dr. Lozay and I recently had a conversation just yesterday afternoon or Monday afternoon with a representative from Fallon who is also going to sign on. We learned of another grant opportunity, so it seems we've got an awful lot going. I did prepare a letter that I would ask you to consider signing this evening. We thought it would be appropriate if the school committee signed on in support as well. You know, I think that as evidenced by the safety advisory team, when we work together in supporting students, it really has the best results. And with this grant opportunity, as I shared with you earlier, when we had Chris Herron come into the high school earlier this fall, one thing that we had talked about, and I think Jacob and Isabella had commented on the impact of that program, would be to potentially have funding to bring him back at the middle school, as well as a parent component and other facets of it as well. So we don't know whether we will be successful in the grant, but I think we've got solid enough plans and another grant opportunity that we should be able to find funding for it. So leave that to you.
I would entertain that motion.
I'll make the motion to approve the Auburn Public Schools' participation in the youth opioid grant application and to sign the letter in support of that application.
Do I have a second? Any discussion?
Through the chair. I was going to ask what we would do with the grant money. So it would be to bring back guest speakers or add guest speakers to the...
So that would be one component, through the chair, that would be one component of it. What the grant really looks for is sustainability. So one of the other things is they had shared with us a listing of various programs that we might look to implement, so that would be done over time, because to do something once and then not revisit it is not as impactful. So that's what we're looking at now to see what there might be. Similar to what has been created at grade 5, the CARE program, that's a collaboration of School Resource Office, Auburn Youth and Family Services, and the Sheriff's Office, really sharing with students the need for them to build confidence in themselves and not succumb to peer pressure on things and make good decisions, healthy lifestyle choices, to actually expand something. We've got a program at the middle school called Quest that our guidance counselors do, and that touches on some components of that, but we really look to intensify that. So we haven't totally solidified the plans of what we're looking for. I can certainly share with you once those are fully developed, but we'll be targeting the middle school for sure.
Because we've done a great job teaching kids not to smoke, you know, so I think the younger they start to learn these important issues, then the better.
Yeah, agreed.
Absolutely. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. If you'd like to sign that, Ms. Harrington, just pass it down this way.
So actually what we'll do through the chair, I apologize, we'll get the original later
Okay.
in the colored letterhead. We'll bring it
Okay.
back.
Okay.
Is that tonight or?
Yeah, tonight.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Yep.
All right, thank you for that. Moving on.
The much anticipated holiday concerts will soon be coming. As you know, the high school had already shared in middle school their trimester concerts, but the elementary schools will be hosting them, and I encourage you and those at home to certainly attend one of them if possible. I had shared with you already about the Auburn Senior Center visit today. Did want to share with you as well that we have invited residents of Eddy Pond to Bryn Mawr and Packagug to actually go there for their holiday concert or a rehearsal thereof on the December 22nd, so that will be a nice collaboration as well. And Town Manager Jacobson asked that I pass along to you, as she does annually, there'll be an open house at Town Hall for all employees, board, and commission members. You are invited. It is Thursday, December 15th from 11:30 to 2, and the refreshments and light lunch has been made each year by Bay Path, so I thank them. They always do a fantastic job. And then finally, the upcoming events, as I already shared about the holiday concerts. Some of you were at the tree lighting. I did going to that. Our Swanson Road Honor Choir sang, and our high school band students were there, sounding outstanding, and it was a beautiful night, really nice community event. And Santa did make it. He was a bit delayed, but he ultimately did arrive.
Wayne?
Yes, at this time, I would like to bring up that we're having our annual Santa call-in show on December 15th from 6 to 8 on channel 194 or 191. You can call up and talk to Santa. We've been doing this for approximately 13, 14 years, and we're going to keep doing it. It's a fabulous thing to do, and I would like to thank Santa for coming from the North Pole to take the calls from the children. And don't forget, and the phone number is 508-832-5323. Don't forget, call up Santa Show, December 15th from 6 to 8. Thank you.
Did you write that down, Jacob? Perfect. No, it is great. I've seen it. It's comical. The kids seem to really enjoy it. And
I'm sure.
reverting back to the tree lighting, that was also an awesome night. So it's just still in the words of John Anderson from a few years ago, Auburn just does it right. We seem to just everything seems to be a little bit more special, especially around this time of year. So excellent. And thank you, Wayne, for your part in that. I look forward to watching it.
Thank you.
I won't call. Moving on to teaching and learning.
So in your packet this evening, you'll see a copy of the District and School Accountability Report Card. This goes out every year. It used to be referred to as the NCLB Report Card. DESE requires that every parent in our district get a copy of this. So we send some hard copies home at our primary level. We sent electronically at middle school and high school, and we've also posted it on our website. So if you have any questions about it that I can answer, and I'll start by answering Gail's first one, I hope. So on the bottom there where it says, how does our school's growth compare to the district and state? This is a template that they use, so no matter what school district you're in, it's going to give you your school's data. Then it will compare you in case you have other schools in your district at that same level, and then it will compare you to the state as well. And if you see here, I think it's because of the print copy that it looks like there's some gray lines, but if you look at the numbers, our school, it's 42, and then it says high schools in our district 42, so the number remains the same, just compared to themselves. It's just because they just plug in the numbers and they don't customize each of these. And then at the Bryn Mawr and Packagug one, you will also see that because of the print copy, it looks like Bryn Mawr School came in lower than other early elementary schools in our district, but this is just a really poor copy. They have no data to base that on because they don't take PARC or MCAS, so neither one of those schools should be reported on. So what we did end up doing is sending a one call home to the parents with an updated printed form that came out better. So that's just to answer your question a little bit.
Any comments, questions? No, seeing none.
Okay. So every year, we also, in addition to giving the PARC or the MCAS 2.0, soon to be, as a state mandated test, we also have to test all of our English language learners. We use a test called Access, and this really tests all the domains of language, the listening, the speaking, the reading and writing, but it really gets at the academic language more than just the social language that these students are developing. And that test will be given this year between January 5th and February 8th. Our kindergartners need to take that test one-on-one with an administrator, and theirs will be paper and pencil based. However, all of our students in grades 1 through 12 will take an online version. We did that for the first time last year, and we were pretty successful with it. We use those scores to kind of determine whether students should stay in ELL or if they will become former English language learners, and then they won't require direct services. For the students who don't get reclassified because their score isn't high enough, the scores do help our teachers to really kind of target the kind of supports that those students would need in the classroom. I did recently hear from DESE that they have changed the cutoff scores. They've recalculated those, and those are now a bit higher, so they're telling us to anticipate that probably fewer students will reclassify as former English language learners. So as far as I'm concerned with that, it might take us a few more years to get them there, but we've been fairly successful in getting them there.
Good.
And then, I just wanted to give a little update on the educator eval. As you know, we created an educator evaluation committee approximately 5 years ago, when the first new regulations came out in 2011, I believe, around the new educator evaluation tool. We continue to meet with that committee every 2 to 3 months or so within the school year. We had one this summer, and now our next meeting is next week. And again, we're still on the same discussion of student impact rating. And I think a few months back when I came, I shared with you that the commissioner's memo, after soliciting a lot of feedback from the stakeholders, was that there would be no separate impact rating for teachers around student growth. However, it does seem that the teachers' unions, MTA, as well as the American Federation of Teachers, are continuing the debate with the commissioner around whether those should even be included under the other standards. The commissioner had said we could still look at that data and use it in the other standards, but the unions are debating whether that's really appropriate or not. So last week, or I think it was last week, right, Dr. Brunel and I we meet monthly with the AA president, the vice president, and the treasurer, and we discussed a little bit about this with them. And we talked a lot about our long-standing history in Auburn of looking at student data, looking at our common assessments, looking at the PARC or MCAS data, and how we use that in ongoing conversations with our teachers. So we all left that meeting feeling comfortable that we would continue that practice and that we would wait to hear what comes next from the commissioner, and then I will share that with the rest of you as well. So that's the update on that, and that's all I have tonight.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Moving on to business and financial.
Good evening. I've included in your packet a year-to-date budget report, and I'd be happy to answer any questions on that you may have. Okay. I've also included a listing of FY17 budget transfers that need to be made. Many of the transfers are within the same series, so I provided them for information purposes. But I also have some that are between 2,000, 3,000, and 4,000 series, which will require your support and approval. So I'd ask for
I would entertain that motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the transfers between 2,000, 3,000, and 4,000 series.
Do you have a second?
A second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And additionally, I've also provided an update of the listing of school department revolving accounts for your perusal, and I'm happy to answer any questions on those as well.
Any questions on the revolving accounts? Seeing none.
Through the French River Education Center, Auburn Public Schools has once again participated with several area districts for the bid for number 2 fuel oil. Petroleum Traders was awarded the contract for the fuel at $1.8390 per gallon for the fiscal year 2018 school year. This is roughly up about 10 cents from the oil prices that we were able to secure for this year, which is 1.7395, which is what we currently are paying for our oil. The fuel prices are they're projecting to begin trending upwards, so we are happy that we were able to go out to bid earlier and lock in at these prices, because there is word that prices are trending upwards. I ask that you vote to approve the awarding of the fuel bid to Petroleum Traders.
I would entertain that motion.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
Thank you for your research.
Yeah, thank you.
This is one of, just again, it's a way that we're able to save money by collaborating with other districts because of the bulk of the oil that we're,
Good.
accessing, so it gives us a good advantage. On November 30th, Dr. Brunel and I attended the Town of Auburn fiscal year 2018 budget kickoff. You'll find a copy in your packets of the presentation given by CFO Kasanovitz. He basically presented budget projections for fiscal year 2018, discussing projected revenues and expenditures for the town. Most of his projections were based on level funding. The good news I found was that the town was projecting a surplus, which is much better than the deficit that they had projected last year at this time. Mr. Cavanaugh also spoke to some of the items and positions that the town may be looking to add in fiscal year 2018. As for the school department, Dr. Purnell provided CFO Casanovitz with 3 of the items that the school department is, in general, the school committee is looking to continue or provide our support and our commitment to. The first being the social emotional needs of the Auburn students. Second being continued growth of the early childhood education program. And the third, our continued dedication to further increasing our student achievement. So it was very well represented by all town boards. I know Ms. Holloway was there and Mr. Page as well for the support of the school committee.
Thank you.
And that'll be the end of my report, unless you have any questions.
I was just going to say, it was a very positive meeting.
Yeah, that's so.
It really, the town having plenty of money to do what they need to do sounded good.
As long as they have plenty of money for us to do what we need to do.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that report. Just to backtrack for a minute, all in favor of the school bid?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we now move on to policies.
In your packet, as we've been doing, is just going through to review policies. As you can see here, I'm not recommending any changes to them, but would ask that you vote your approval if you so desire, so that we can update our policy book.
I would entertain that motion.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It is a vote. And we do need to go into executive session this evening, so I would entertain a motion to go into executive session.
I'll make a motion to go into executive session per Mass General Law, Chapter 30, Section 21A2, to conduct strategies for negotiations with union and non-union personnel, and per Section 21A3, to discuss strategy with respect to litigation.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Roll call vote.
Mrs. Harrington?
Yes.
Mrs. Kaufman?
Yes.
Mrs. Holloway?
Yes.
Mr. Page?
Yes.
Mr. Stobie?
Yes. Good night, everyone.